All attention on potentially 2 rounds of thunderstorms, one that may form at any moment and another one later this evening. I'll use Radar 3000 and Future Track to show you the latest on dangerous storms that are moving through parts of the area.
I'm Jalen Banks, and coming up, I'll have the latest from the Dodge County Courthouse on the second court hearing of the former warden of the Waupun Correctional Facility.
I'm Kyle Pazarski. Edgewood High School looking to make a big change to the students' phone policies. I have the details coming up.
And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Thanks for watching.
And we start with weather, where severe storms are expected to move through western and southern Wisconsin yet tonight.
The News 3 Now weather team has been monitoring this system since last week. We have team coverage here and out in the field as well as storms moved into the area. So for the latest on what's happening right now, let's head to Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington with a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Alex?
Sarah, Eric, southern Wisconsin, we're keeping an eye on the potential for 2 rounds of thunderstorms. Round number 1, we're watching every radar frame with Radar 3000 as warm, humid air moves in from the south and from the west out ahead of a frontal boundary that's moving into the area. Will this be just enough to break a cap that we've been talking about for a few days as well? This cap is a lid on the atmosphere. We're waiting to see if that cap is going to erode. If it does, we would have explosive thunderstorm development over the course of the next hour or 2. We're keeping a close tab as well in our first warn weather cams to see if we see any vertical lifting development, clouds getting larger, meaning exploding into the atmosphere. And right now that lid has been holding on strong. Right now, scenario number 2 continues to be the one that is holding firm in southern Wisconsin, which is good news. This keeps that severe weather chance with this round low, but we're keeping, again, a very close eye on the potential as to whether or not that cap breaks as we move towards the 7 and the 8 o'clock hour. And that's not the only area of shower and thunderstorm activity. We have numerous severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings over portions of southeastern Minnesota and north portions of Iowa that will be moving towards the east. Coming up in Maine weather, we'll use Future Track to show you when that round of thunderstorms makes it to southern Wisconsin and what threats you can expect from those storms.
Okay, Alex, thank you. And for more weather coverage, let's now head to Arman Rahman, who's live just outside Fenimore in Grant County. How's it going out there, Arman?
Yeah, Sarah and Eric, we moved just outside of the town here just so we can kind of get a look at where the clouds, where that storm Alex said would be coming from. That's the Iowa, kind of Minnesota area, more western. And as we've moved up here, there have been more darkened clouds that have very quickly moved overhead and moved northeast. And that's really because of very strong winds that you might be able to hear happening right around me. And the Iowa County Emergency Management Deputy Director says that's still something people should definitely be on alert for moving into this evening.
We have a history of a lot of straight line winds through the county. There's a lot of open area. The dangers would be power lines down, trees down, debris, flying debris, stuff like that. So we ask people to just be very careful if they don't need to travel during the storm, stay put.
And if you do notice any of those large debris, power lines, etc., down, regardless of where you are, it's important not to fall for those storm scammers, those scammers that follow the storms, chase the storms, the deputy director says, and then scam you and charge you for removing debris and then not coming and doing it. To find a list of trusted businesses you can check with your local emergency management or your municipal chamber of commerce. We'll be here following the storms on this part of Wisconsin and other parts throughout the night. For now, reporting live just outside Fenimore, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you, Arman, and good advice there. You can track the forecast for yourself as well on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download this for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
All 27 UW-Madison students and alumni whose visas were terminated can now stay in the U.S. The university provided an update earlier today saying all affected students or alumni will now be able to continue their studies or post-grad training at the UW. It comes after the Trump administration abruptly ended its legal battle with international students across the country last week. The administration had revoked the visas of several thousand students and alumni. Now, neither the UW nor the students were given a reason as to why those visas were terminated and then restored. And in a statement on the reversal, UW Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin said in part, quote, This situation was deeply troubling, upended lives, and created both fear and harm. I want to personally thank the many members of our community, along with local, state, and federal officials who worked to assist our students.
A judge has ordered an updated plan for the conditional release of Morgan Geyser. Geyser, who's been in a mental health institution since 2017, nearly killed her 6th grade classmate in 2014. She and Anissa Weirder did so in an attempt to appease the fictional character Slender Man. A judge asked for an updated report, and after the state rejected the conditional release plan presented this morning. That plan needs to come within the next 30 days.
Well, a home is badly damaged after a fire in the town of Clyman in Dodge County. This happened on Train Road. It was about 11:20 last night. Everyone inside and their 3 pets were all able to escape safely. Firefighters, though, at one point had to get away from the kitchen area because of the intensity of the heat and the possibility of the roof collapsing. No one was hurt, and cause of that fire and an estimate on damages were not immediately available. A seismic change will be coming to Madison's Edgewood High School as the administration there looks to improve learning.
Our Kyle Pazorski shows us the change.
We wanted to go a route of a little more strict cell phone policy.
That was the decision Edgewood High School's administration came to after 2 years of discussions on student phone use. Beginning in the fall of this year, the school will implement the use of these lockable pouches to keep cell phones out of class. Principal Jerry Zander says the change in policy is something many schools are moving towards.
We've been looking at a bunch of schools and what they've done, and we've kind of looked at best practices, and that's part of our decision-making process.
How it works is students will lock their phone in the pouches upon entering the school. They will then unlock them at the end of the day when they leave.
The pouches allow our students to still have the phone on them at all times, so if there was an emergency, they do have access to them.
Sanders says putting this into effect will improve the mental health of students, eliminate distractions, and foster a better community.
Although, we might have some upset students right now and disappointed students, I think once they realize that every student does not have their phone during the school day, they'll realize that it is in the best interest of us as a community.
In Madison, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Cal, thank you. And Zander further says overall the response from parents has been positive.
A Wisconsin warden charged in connection to the deaths of multiple inmates had a second court hearing this afternoon in Dodge County.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks sat in on the hearing and joins us with more.
Last year, 9 people were charged in connection to a string of deaths at the Waupun Correctional Facility. And Monday, its former warden had his second court hearing at the Dodge County Courthouse. Randall Hepp, former warden of the Waupun Correctional Facility, who was charged last year in the deaths of 2 inmates, pleaded no contest to a lesser deal on Monday. Hepp was charged with the deaths of inmates 24-year-old Cameron Williams and 62-year-old Donald Meyer. In his hearing Monday, District Attorney Andrea Will read the victim statement of Mayer's mother, where it read, "Nothing can bring back my son," and continued saying, "Those involved should spend time in jail so they can know what it's like to depend on others for food, water, and medical care." Ultimately, the courts chose not to give Hepp any jail time, sentencing him to a Class C misdemeanor for violating state and institutional laws and a $500 fine and court cost. Judge Martin DeVries calling the sentencing symbolic because Hepp was not aware of the living conditions at the facilities that led to Meyer's death. I attempted to speak to Hepp multiple times on his thoughts on his sentence, but he would not comment. Do you have any comment? Do you guys have any comment on today's sentencing? For now, reporting at the Dodge County Courthouse, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jalen. And News 3 Now did reach out to District Attorney Andrea Will for comment on this sentence and have yet to receive a response. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, how SSM Health is working with Rock County farmers markets to battle food insecurity.
Plus, even our 4-legged friends can't escape inflation. Look at the rising cost of owning a pet when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
SSM Health partnering with the Beloit and Janesville farmers markets to get affordable, healthy food to more people. A new Double Up Food Bucks program will launch at both markets. The program encourages people who get SNAP benefits to buy fresh produce and grocery essentials from local vendors. People who use SNAP will get extra benefits by shopping at either market. The launch comes amid a struggle to meet the demand in both communities.
A lot of our food partners, our food banks and our food pantries are feeling tightness right now in their ability to to serve our populations as best as they possibly can. Funding is getting shorter and shorter. And I think a lot of times in the past, people have thought the farmers market is kind of the high-end, expensive place to go for your food. And our farmers markets here in Rock County have done a great job removing that stigma of our farmers markets and making it accessible for everybody.
Oh, to participate in the program, all you have to do is present your active SNAP benefit card and choose a dollar amount to have deducted from your account.
Well, one glance at social media these days and anyone can see how much people, myself included, love their pets. But the price tag on our furry friends is going up. According to a recent report from pet care service Rover, dog owners can expect a 7% hike in expenses this year and 10% for cats. The average lifetime cost of care for a 10-year-old dog adds up to more than $34,000, while a 16-year-old cat costs about $32,000. One way to keep at least your initial costs down, experts say consider the financial benefits of adopting a dog or cat from a shelter.
A lot of these pets are already spayed, neutered, and microchipped, and you're not going to be paying some of the exorbitant costs that are associated with getting a designer dog from a breeder.
Another potential cost to weigh if you are allergic and considering allergy shots before adopting a pet. You can check to see if that is covered in your health insurance plan. And still ahead, a tree crashes into an apartment complex in Fort Atkinson. The latest on that damage.
Plus, the NFL and Green Bay are celebrating a successful NFL draft. A look at the numbers and the impact that national events are having on Wisconsin.
Plus, Alex returns with his alert day forecast. Stick around.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. No one is hurt after a large tree fell onto an apartment complex in Fort Atkinson. Fort Atkinson Chief Police Bruce Peterson says crews responded to the apartments on Commonwealth Drive just after 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Luckily, no one was inside when the tree fell. The apartments do have significant damage to the roof as well as balconies. Peterson says the Red Cross is helping the displaced residents until the tree is removed and the roof can be repaired. Well, severe weather moving through Wisconsin tonight. Alex, what are you seeing on the radar right now?
Right now, Sarah, good things I'm seeing on the radar, meaning I'm not seeing any thunderstorms at this point in time across southern Wisconsin, but there are some light showers that are out there right now. And we are in a very volatile situation right now where we have a cap, which we've been discussing for a few days. There's two scenarios. Will this cap break this evening? If it breaks this evening, we could see scattered thunderstorms pop up with large hail, strong winds, and possibly some strong tornadoes. This timing carries us from now through, let's say, 8 or 9 o'clock. So the time is getting a bit limited here. Scenario number 2 is what is currently happening right now. That cap is holding across southern Wisconsin, keeping those showers from building up into strong thunderstorms. So hopefully scenario number 2 ends up being the one that is panning out. Our atmospheric cap, when we look at really, really dark blue colors, notice the dark blue colors are gone though now over parts of southwest Wisconsin. This could be an indication that the cap is trying to erode and break apart, which would then potentially lead to some isolated thunderstorm development here. Also, the atmospheric energy, when you get up into those bright white colors, the atmospheric energy is building. It's that warm, humid air that we're experiencing out there right now. So again, the atmosphere is primed. It is volatile right now. And we also use other tools, not just Radar 3000, but also our live network of Skycams here, our Mallard Skycam here. We're looking to see if we have any clouds with any vertical depth building into showers or perhaps thunderstorms. And we're keeping an eye. Madison, Monroe, Janesville, Watertown, can't rule out southwest Wisconsin yet that some of these showers, if they can break that cap, may pop up into thunderstorms that could quickly go severe. We do have severe thunderstorms, yet another line out over portions of Minnesota and northern Iowa with numerous severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. They are heading off towards the east, so if we can dodge this first round, the second round then will be our focus. But as we go into future track here, notice as we head towards 9 o'clock, a couple of those rogue isolated thunderstorms trying to pop up from Monroe to Madison. Just about anybody stands the chance of having that occur. If they do, those are the thunderstorms that could produce, again, the very large hail, the very strong winds, and perhaps a strong tornado. And then we carry on a little bit later. We watch that line of thunderstorms coming out of Minnesota, affecting especially areas north of the Dells. Camp Douglas, Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake counties do stand the better chance of seeing this second round. Damaging winds, large hail. We can't rule out an embedded tornado in that line as we head towards midnight. And that line quickly moves through as we head towards 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Some indication that that line would would be then weakening as it moves into southern Wisconsin. So there is a chance if we get round 1 out of here with nothing in southern Wisconsin and round 2, which would favor severe weather more towards the north, parts of southern Wisconsin, Madison and areas to the south may dodge both rounds of thunderstorms of severe levels, which would certainly be a good thing. But Jacob, myself, and Blaze, we're watching every radar scan to keep everybody up to date on the latest. And this is a level 4 out of 5, meaning the energy is there for the longer-lived storms, the more intense storms, potentially strong tornadoes, the larger hail and the stronger winds. And I wanted to bring this up because, yes, we can have tornadoes at level 1 or level 5, but when you get up at level 4 and 5, what that means is the atmosphere is charged for the higher end, more destructive storms. And hopefully southern Wisconsin with the cap and that line moving through potentially weakening will help us dodge the strongest of these thunderstorms with this outbreak that's occurring over parts of the Midwest. Nevertheless, strong winds, hail, and we can't rule out tornadoes this evening, so be on guard. We will be here to keep everybody safe, and we'll cut in as needed. Then, as we head into Tuesday, windy conditions, temperatures much, much cooler today, nearly a 20-degree drop, highs in the upper 50s with a tiny chance of a shower. Good chances for rain in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday. Not expecting severe weather at this time with that weather system, but rain that's beneficial. We'll certainly take that after we get through our alert day period. Wednesday and Thursday, showers and thunderstorms. Look at this as we go out into next week. How about some good news in this forecast? Temperatures in the 70s, maybe approaching 80 by the middle of next week, and I'm not seeing any big storms next week at this point in time. But we'll keep a very close eye on every radar scan on Radar 3000 tonight.
Alex, thank you. And the numbers are in on last week's NFL draft, and they are eye-opening. Around 600,000 people made their way to Green Bay for the 3-day event. That is more than double the expected attendance of some 250,000. Green Bay itself has a population of just over 100,000 in the city limits. It's the league's smallest market. Green Bay residents say they're thankful the weekend turned out to be a safe one. Green Bay PD says it only made 1 arrest along with 8 ejections. And the NFL draft, the second major national event to be hosted in Wisconsin in the past year. Of course, the Republican National Convention took place in Milwaukee last July. Major events like these have a positive effect on the state's hospitality industry. President of the Wisconsin Hotel and Lodging Association, Bill Elliott, says the state could see $90 million generated by the NFL draft. He also says the draft proves Wisconsin's aptitude when it comes to hospitality.
The draft shows that we can have a huge event, and it really shines that spotlight and shows people that Wisconsin is on the map when it comes to hosting these kind of activities. So it may not be about today, it may not be about next week, but it's about the business that it'll help generate for years to come.
And the NFL draft is set to be held in Pittsburgh next year. Zach?
And coming up in sports, with Damian Lillard out for the foreseeable future, who do the Bucks turn to for a must-win Game 5? Well, the answer is next on News 3 Now. The MRI confirms what we all feared. Damian Lillard will miss the rest of the playoffs and unfortunately a big chunk, if not all of next year, after tearing his Achilles tendon in the first quarter of Game 4 last night. Now Dame will undergo surgery to repair it, and now the path for the Bucks is a whole lot harder. They're down a superstar and down 3-1 in the series. So Tuesday is a must-win to keep their season alive.
I think everybody in the locker room know what the deal is. Got to go in Indiana, play some good basketball. Obviously, we don't have Dame, but the next guy got to step up. We got to do what we got to do. Move the ball, play together, try to win the game, and come back.
Wisconsin football had to wait until the final round of this year's NFL draft to see the first Badger taken off the board when Jack Nelson was selected 218th overall. The Stoughton native was a mainstay on UW's offensive line, starting 50 of the 51 games he played during his time in Madison. And now he heads to Atlanta with plans to prove he belongs in the league.
It's all about making the team and then, proving to that team that you belong. You're starting at the bottom of the totem pole. And, my goal is to prove I can play in the NFL as a rookie. I can play as a tackle. And then, it's just about doing whatever you need for that team, coming into work, getting it done, and then signing that second contract.
As expected, both Jerry Kelly and Steve Stricker have officially committed to play in this year's AmFam Championship. The two fan favorites have combined for 3 AmFam championships, with Kelly winning in 2019 and 2021. Wow. And Strick taking home the title 2 years ago. The AmFam Championship tees off for the first time ever at TPC, Wisconsin on June 6th. Now, the Brewers are off today, but over the weekend, Jackson Chourio collected his 100th RBI as a Brewer, and it only took him 175 games to do it. He's the second fastest Brewer to reach that milestone in franchise history, behind only Ryan Braun, who did it in amazingly 118 games. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good, and that guy's going to be a superstar before if he isn't already. Well, coming up tonight at 10 after NCIS Origins, continued coverage of the severe weather. Armand, he's out there. Matty Heimsch out there checking out the storms as they make their way through Wisconsin, and we want to get the latest on their progress with Alex.
Right. Round one, we're keeping a close eye on, which would be right over Madison down to Janesville. Notice a couple showers trying to form. This is showers trying to break a cap. That's a lid on the atmosphere. If they don't break the cap, we'll dodge that round of showers and thunderstorms. But another line is going to be coming through as we get a little bit later into the evening, and during our 10 o'clock newscast, we'll be very likely tracking those storms in parts of the area.
Thanks, Alex.
And you'll break in as needed.
Yep,
hopefully
absolutely.
we won't have to go there. But stay tuned, folks. Thanks for watching.